Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of ThinkTank Thursday. I am Candy Kelly, and I'm your host this week. On Thursdays, Trainertainment likes to take a little bit of time away from the doing and spend some time thinking about the business and doing some planning and stuff. We are so grateful that we're able to do that because of our 2021 digital sponsors, which you see on the side there. We have Creative Works, Redemption Plus, Party Center Software, Hagar Communications, Simnox, Embed, People First, Expert Hosiery, and Schaefer Distributing. We are so grateful for their support. So today I'm really excited because I have a teammate that's joining me for Think Tank Thursday. It's been a couple of months since we've had her on, but she's back to talk about all the promotion and marketing ideas that we can do for November and December. So why don't you introduce yourself real quick?
Hey, Candy. Well, this is Vivian Conterio. I've been on before, talking about the short little promotions and stuff that we could all do to promote different events and all these little fun holidays and stuff. So we've got a lot of stuff going on for November and December. Super excited.
I know, super exciting. It's definitely, first of all, happy November. Can you believe we're here?
I'm in shock. I have no idea how we got here.
I don't either. I look backwards and I'm like, where? I don't even know. But we're definitely in the holiday season. But with that, sometimes things start to slow down for some of our locations as well. And but there are also good times off from school that we can take advantage of, and just the season of giving. And with that, we can help so much in our communities. So why don't we jump into like November and let's talk about those things. What are some of the top tips you have for them for November?
Well, November definitely is the month of being thankful and giving back to the community, giving back to the kids. Right now, especially. A lot of communities have really been hit hard this past year with COVID. And so I think that there's going to be a lot of different ways that we can help. There's, canned food drives. There's a lot of things that centers could be doing to promote that. I know a lot of different communities have their big Thanksgiving drive, feeding the homeless and just feeding the community in general. So I think that setting up donation boxes, giving discounts for cans, a lot of promotions go that way as well. So anything that we can do this is really the month of thinking about how grateful we are for our, our guests, how grateful we are for being around another year. I think that people are really thinking about it that way.
It's definitely something to celebrate and be grateful for. You talked about canned food drive. If you find that there's a lot of places in your area that are doing canned food drives, there are other things you can do. One of my locations used to do a coat drive in November. Because there are so many food drives around them. And I've had one do a blanket drive. I've had some do sock drives because
sock drives are really good.
Yeah. They're like the number
you wouldn't
one
think it, but that's the number one requested items in shelters and homeless. They want clean, dry socks, and depending on where you are in the country, coat drives are excellent. Even t-shirt drives are great. Everybody has a few extra t-shirts that are laying around that you don't want to use. So as a matter of fact, just the other day, we were looking around and I have a huge bag of t-shirts and, men's men's socks that, you buy those packs of socks and then you go, I don't want to wear them. Yep. So they just sit around. So just look around, make sure that things are obviously, in like new condition that you can give. And there, like you said, partner with different organizations. It doesn't have to be those, traditional kind of can drive, food drives and things like that. The sock drives are really fun. They could be, wear your crazy sock day, at the location and bring an extra pair of socks. So just a really fun little promotions like that to give back.
I like that you said to look at places that you can partner with. My daughter is a member of something called K-Kids, which is the elementary version of Kiwanis Club. And, that's who sponsors their school canned food drive too. So the Kiwanis Club will go and pick that up. So you could do that with the school where you're sponsoring and helping, and you offer to go pick up that stuff and make sure it gets to its end destination, whoever we're, sponsoring with those socks or coats or canned food. And it gives you a great opportunity to start building and continue building those relationships with the schools as well.
Absolutely. Those partnerships are so good. Partnering with them and making sure that things are either dropped off at the school or at your location, and then do contests within the school, for different classes, like they do the promotions of, however many people come in for that night, those types of promotions, to making sure that we get a lot of people in for a particular evening, maybe a Wednesday that's really slow in your location or something like that. But partnering with the schools is always, it doesn't matter what it is, it always really reaps a lot of benefits throughout the year. It's just being that consistent, having a consistent drive with whatever particular in partnership with those schools.
And just remember, you don't always have to give a discount. You can add value. So one of the things we learned through the pandemic with people who had mask mandates is we had a client that said, if you wear your mask, because it was not required, but them as a business were requiring it, we'll give you a $5 game card. And so it encouraged mask wearing. So you don't have to give a discount for bringing in the canned good or the coat. You could just give a $5 gift card, which we know people will add more money to. It's just added value instead of discounting your experience.
Absolutely. It's also a great time to really think about this, selling gift cards, because gift cards are a really great way to boost up your sales. This month in particular, when we get towards the end of the month with Black Friday or Cyber Monday, having some kind of really great promotion to be able to sell those gift cards, or if you have memberships, it's a time to renew those memberships at your center. Like, really think outside the box of how you're going to bring in that revenue towards that end of the month, and having that in mind, like, what can we do that it's not really giving away things that are just at discounted prices, but bringing in that revenue as well is really important.
Correct. Another idea for November that I really like that you have in our sales planner book this is an older version. There's a newer version out there. Is the 12 Days of Thankful Fans. I really love this idea.
Oh, like I said, it's a great month to be thankful for everything, for our clients, for, our team members, for, just in general, your families. It's a great month to set out those 12 days of promotions, whether it's this month or next month for Christmas, making sure that we have something that we're doing like on an everyday basis, that we're giving back or being thankful for our team members. I mean, if I go to a center and I know that they're taking care of their employees and they're happy, then it's going to show. I mean, people want to be there. And this year we've all seen it across the board, that retention is really important, keeping those team members happy. So not only the customers, but also your team members, your loyal fans, their families, there's just a lot of things to do with, that whole being fanatics, of your center.
Side note, we're doing our own version just in December. We're doing the 12 Days of Christmas leading up to Christmas. Instead of 12 Days of Thankful Fans. But, this is a great way. Everyone's looking for how do you boost more interaction a lot of times on social media because of how the algorithms work there. And so by nominating people or running these contests daily, you can give game cards, you can just give 10% off, a free bowling game. Like, there's small things, a free icy. It does not have to be huge. It's just a showing appreciation and giving something during this.
Sure. And it could be on the spot too, like, just make, if you say that it's going to be this weekend, just have it promoted throughout the weekend. And if you're the one that's in charge of that, then you can go around and ask people to promote it on social media. You say what they're thankful for, and just go out and have fun, like, you go out and give some little $5 gift cards or $5 game cards that day. Have your team members record themselves for 30 seconds, what they're thankful for. Start promoting those through social media. I think that people want to see happy stories. They're tired of seeing all these sad stories. Just, fun little TikTok videos or fun little, snaps that you can do that will promote that thankfulness, and also bring in people, have that community building on the spot. It doesn't even have to be super planned out,
Yeah. It's a great month to just have some loaded up $5 game cards and give them to some of your
Random.
key staff members and say, when
Right?
you're out in public or you're like that, like if you notice somebody who's a loyal fan, thank them for those things. So
Yeah, absolutely.
and the sales side, like who should we be calling as far as those type of promotion marketing things here? School's going to be closed for Thanksgiving and for the Christmas break. And some of those daycare facilities look for things to do with those kids during that. I know several of the camps around me for Thanksgiving take them somewhere every day. They're just not open on Thanksgiving Day and the day after, but Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of that week, our schools are completely out for the whole week. So they are doing a trip on Monday, a trip on Tuesday, and a trip on Wednesday. It's to be determined. And so call around and see if those plans have already been made.
All those preschools and daycare centers and stuff like that, they do take those kids out. We used to get a lot of calls and consistent, right? So like they'll continue to book. If you book something now, they'll start booking it for Christmas. So just getting those on a cycle, and then they'll come in for, spring break, and then they'll come in for summer. So making sure that we have those connections with those the local preschools that bring out 5, 10, 15 kids. Sometimes it's the whole school. It doesn't have to be like a huge field trip. It could just be very small little groups. You have that little package ready to go. Start really making sure that you have those connections in place.
With the daycare that my daughters went to, they're both in school now, but they were always looking for something to do with the school age kids. So it wasn't the whole school because they already had the plans for the non-school age kids, but they had the school age kids who would come in because their parents were still working that week. And so that's the group that they would take and do the activities with that you're talking about there.
Sure. And let's not forget college kids, right? Because college kids, I have a college kid this year, and they are home for a weekend. They want to go out with their friends. So don't forget that a lot of them are going to want to go out and do different things. So even if it's just small little groups that you're doing for college, don't forget promoting things to colleges and stuff. I'm seeing a lot of things starting to pop up in those Facebook pages of different events that they're doing in different cities. So I think it's really important not to forget that they want to get out. They want to be able to do something with a group of people. It's not just necessarily them. Family reunions, people are going to be here for Thanksgiving for a whole week, same thing with Christmas. So start really promoting those whole family type events.
I like that you brought that up because it is also from a graphics and marketing perspective, you got to know the different things. So the things that are catered to the kids who are out of school age, elementary school, what you're putting out has to look different than what you're putting out for the college kids if you're catering to each.
Yeah, totally different.
Different demographic. Take that into consideration.
But and then again, not necessarily are the little kids the ones that are looking at these ads. It's going to be, their parents and things like that. So just make them family friendly.
Now's also the time we are back to having events and festivals and like Santa festivals and Christmas festivals, but a lot of those, they do their registrations and do you want to be a part of this event in the first 2 weeks of November. So now's the time to look, what festivals does your community have that involve Santa or anything holiday related or any of that is your key demographic. Some 5Ks, we have a jingle jog around us, but if you want to be a vendor of those, now's the time to look and to plan out your next 2 months. Where are you going to be in your community? What are you going to take part in?
Yep, lots of harvest festivals, things like that, craft fairs, craft shows, even having some of those things in your location where if you research on Facebook, there are a million little craft groups and mom groups on there. So researching some of those, we used to have a vendor night where we'd have like just tables set up throughout the venue and, moms would come out. So if they're crafty, they could sell their crafts. Wouldn't charge them anything, but it was just a really fun night to be able to come in and, people buy from each other. If they're there, they get some unique, handmade things and stuff like that. So I think it's really important to just really keep Facebook and keep those groups in mind, of doing crafts and things like that.
What a great idea with the supply chain issues that we are experiencing this year.
Buy local,
to really buy local, to really buy some handmade things, local honey, things like that, and the things that come to mind, and to really support your community in that way by giving them an outlet to reach more people sounds like such a great idea.
Yeah, and even if you don't have room in your space, like it could be outside. It could be like in a little tent right by your center or something like that. So there's just a lot of different ways to do that, to just bring in people and drive people into your location. I love that idea. It promotes a lot of, partnerships. It's also Small Business Saturday this month. So having that in mind and thinking, to buy local, maybe have it on that day. A lot of the smaller businesses, can, even if you're just a home type business, you could promote your crafts, as well as maybe having somebody, have a table set up for kids to create their own crafts and their own little gifts with cute little boxes or something like that to be able to give it as gifts. So.
I do also feel like we need to talk and just remind everybody that Black Friday, you have been the one to inform me, is going to look very different this year.
It is looking very different this year. I think also because of the whole supply chain issues that people are having. I was at Dollar Tree getting craft stuff the other day, and I was looking for something, and the gentleman told me he hasn't had a shipment in over a month. This is for a Dollar Tree. Like half of the stuff was just gone, and this is for like these little homemade crafts. So I can imagine in every situation there's paint issues, there's no paints, there's those demand things that the ships have not come in. We're starting to see some of the ships come in a little bit more regular, but it's going to take time to get them to the store. So I think a lot of the bigger retailers have even started their promotions now. If you go into Best Buy now, the place is packed with the TVs and all that stuff. They've just decided they're going to start selling them now. They're not going to wait till that Black Friday, because what happens is we may not get those shipments in on time. It's going to be hard to really promote that just for one day. So thinking about that and starting now, making sure that things are being sold, and then think about maybe if you do something where you're promoting a gift card or any kind of membership or anything like that, think about doing it for Cyber Monday instead.
Oh yeah, definitely there. Is there anything else that we're missing from November?
We've got a lot of stuff. The other thing too is to again, bringing in that community. Start booking some stuff for December as well, whether it's that Santa, whether it's the choirs, there's local, again, those partnerships with the schools come in really handy. Some, like locally here, we have a huge choir competition every year at the end of December.
Very fun.
Beautiful. Yeah. And the schools compete in that as well. So having like a hot cocoa night and having those choirs come in, after the shows, or even on a Saturday, just booking a couple of, different choirs to come in, give them discounts to play afterwards, or that $10 gift card or something like that.
You just gave me a neat idea. My daughter, for the first time, is participating in her school puts on the Nutcracker, and there's a couple of nights that they do different renditions of the show. But in Hollywood, they have post-show, or in Broadway, they have post-show parties. So like afterwards. So if you can find out some of your local schools or community theaters and what they're doing, go talk to them about being the host for their post-show party, their wrap-up party, as they call it. And that would be so much fun.
Absolutely. They'll have a blast, and a lot of kids come in. We did also like art night, set up an art night where they can display some art. There's just a lot of partnership type of things that you could do. Last year was really hard with the schools because a lot of them still were not back in session during this time, I believe. So this year, a lot of them are in person. So I think that a lot more stuff can be done as partners.
I agree. Talking about December, one of my favorite things that used to be, and we did this when I was back in my operations day, is a breakfast with Santa. And I love this idea because you can pre-sell tickets for it.
Oh, absolutely.
So find yourself a Santa, have a couple of activities. We typically had a craft table, a cookie decorating table, and then get your photo made with Santa area. So it was kind of, they were shifting through.
Sure.
It was a we did pancakes because pancakes are really inexpensive and can be cooked really easily by just bringing in a griddle. Even if you don't have that equipment in your kitchen already, griddles are really easy to bring in. And so, and you knew how many you would have. If you sold out, you can open up another time slot or can join a room and open up more tickets if you needed to. And it didn't interfere with operational hours because we just opened early. We opened at like 8:30, 9 o'clock and did that instead. And then we gave every kid a gift, which a lot of times was an arcade card and a t-shirt of ours. So that we got marketing in there and then an invitation for them to come back or stay after we open to use that game card. So,
yeah, we did the same thing, Candy. It was an awesome event. I'm telling you, we would sell out every year. So the trick to this is, and I always say this, don't skimp on the Santa. Moms want to have a Santa that looks like Santa, so like if you have a kid in the back that's just going to dress up as Santa, unless he really looks like Santa, the kids it just doesn't fly, so like don't skimp on the Santa. Try to find yourself a really good Santa. I think the better the Santa, the better amount of moms you're going to get out there to bring their kids, because they want those pictures for their cards and stuff. So also not having it too late, because I do want to use those pictures. So maybe even partnering up with a photographer that can come and take those pictures. We photographed it and then put them all online. So they all had to sign a waiver when they came in for that photography session. They could take their own pictures as well with their own cameras, but it wasn't a paid thing with the photographer. The photographer, was able to set up a little booth at our center as well to make sure that they were able to sell their Christmas packages, But it was a really fun event. As long as, like I said, as long as you have a really good Santa. I've seen a big flop when the Santas don't look like Santa. We had a Santa that looked so much like Santa throughout the entire year that every time when I booked him, he would come into our center. And I remember one time he came in July. We were already signing the contract in July, and he came in and he had a red golf shirt, like a polo shirt on. But his beard was all white. And I remember him coming in, and this little girl knocks in my office, and I open the door, and she's just sitting there with her eyes like this. And I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, is that really Santa? She had like disappeared from her mom. It was so funny, there's kids that are really attentive towards those things. So having a really fun event like that, I think, is great for the centers. Again, try to have it earlier on in December. Don't wait for it to be so late during the year. And then the other one, the really fun one, is that those letters for Santa, because letters for Santa could go throughout the whole month. Set up a station.
I love your idea with the letters for Santa. Before I move on, the touch and base, and if you can't find the perfect Santa, then invest in a good Santa suit, because with exactly nice accessories and stuff, you can use it for years to come. If you don't already have it, you just put it in storage, keep it good. You can use it for years to come, but go ahead and make that investment in a good suit if you can't find a Santa with a natural beard and all of that.
Yep. I remember one time also that for whatever reason, I don't know what happened, but the center could not get Santa that year, and they had Mrs. Claus come in.
Oh, that's cute.
And it was adorable. The kids loved it. Santa was still in his workshop making those toys. So Mrs. Claus came out, and she was fabulous. So
that's so cute. Yeah. I love your idea with letters for Santa, because you talk about having employees take turns and write messages back to the kids.
Sure.
Like from an elf from the workshop. Yeah.
So it's really fun to set up a little station there where they could sign those letters, or they could write those letters. We made a huge, mailbox that was red, and it was very simple to make, and if you Pinterest it, you could find a million ways to do that. A box, something I could do red with a ribbon on it. Just having really a lot of fun with it, and having those kids come in and write that at that little station with a cookie or something like that. That goes on throughout the whole month. It doesn't have to just be one day. So
another idea that I did in my operations days is, for some it has been a hard 2 years. And so
Yeah.
I had a couple of locations every Christmas. They did nominations. And so people would write in stories about families that they thought were really deserving for a celebration or a great birthday party. And they would read the stories. There was, the ownership was kind of like read through all the stories. And then once a week leading up to Christmas, they picked another family to get like the biggest birthday package that they had. They went all out. They did this they started this just to give back without thinking of it. But the results were quite impressive in that they got lots of media coverage. They had news companies would also come and highlight that family and give them like their moment and spotlight and show appreciation to them and all of those things. And so it's a great way to give back. And then the unintended result from that is that they got a lot of media coverage out of it too. Being good in the world sometimes pays off and gets you some extra coverage as well.
Sure. Partner up with, there's so many organizations out there. We did one with foster kids. So we did it before the center was open, and had everybody come, this organization would bring in like 100 foster kids that were there. And, a lot of these kids have been shuffled around from home to home, and it's a heartbreaking kind of situation, but they have so much fun. They come out and have a great time. We provided them a snack. We provided them 2 hours of play. So all these types of events really do get a lot of, news coverage. And again, not that you're doing it necessarily for that media, because it's giving back to your community, but anytime you have any type of event, create a press release. It doesn't hurt, it really doesn't. It's just a plus for your center. Your local community also, like ours does, Neighbors for Neighbors. So they do adopt a tree and they do adopt a family as well. So, have an adopt a family type of event as at your center as well. Like you said, nominate families to come in and, do a little ornament or something like that on a tree or something that they can nominate some of these deserving families that are, down on their luck this year, which a lot of people are.
Yes. We can't forget, you got to already think about New Year's Eve, and it's easy to have 2 New Year's Eve celebrations if you are totally family oriented, because you can have the kids celebration at like midday and the more adult celebration in the evening time.
Sure. Depending on your center, whether you're open that evening, whether you're, doing something like that, it's a really fun event to do the 12 noon, ball drop or, something like that, celebrating New Year's Eve. And then again at midnight, if you do a really big party or something like that for families. A lot of the times people don't have anything to do on New Year's Eve, like they don't want to host their own party. They don't want to go out to a party. So they'll go out and do fun things at centers just because it's, it's safe. Nobody has to, cook or do anything else. It's all right there. They're having a great time. It could be a small group. So even if it's, just your family and maybe a few other friends, it makes it really fun to be in an atmosphere like that. So don't think that, people aren't going to come out for New Year's Eve for that.
Agreed.
And then start planning for 2022. I mean, this is the perfect time to really start thinking about everything in a whole year and things, how you're going to promote each event. Sit down and do a month at a time. We have our planner on sale now for 2022, and it does have all these events. It does have that reach calendar on there that you can take a look at, all these really fun and silly, events and just fun event days. Like today is sandwich day.
Today?
Go out and have a good sandwich today.
There is, I think there's every day of the year probably has one of those quirky days.
Quirky, crazy holidays. Like this year we added a lot more of those, weird holidays to our reach calendar. I just think it makes it fun. If you can't really plan out something for, that's going to stand out for like Christmas and stuff, then have a really fun, Christmas ugly sweater contest or, just things like that. Sandwich day, just fun way to promote, if your center does sandwiches, have a promotion for sandwich day. Like really take a look at those little quirky holidays and try to promote some things that are just out of the box that people aren't going to do that. Like one of my favorites was Speak Like a Pirate Day. Oh my God, that was so much fun. People would come in literally dressed as pirates or just with their little hats on and their little eye patch. So just fun and quirky, I think really sometimes saves the day.
You said National Ugly Sweater Day. That is December 17th, which is on a Friday. If anybody wants to do something with that this year, that would be have yourself a little party of ugly sweaters. But
have team members wear ugly sweaters,
We are in the business of fun and memories. And so finding those quirky holidays and making them as fun as possible. And you can find a reason to celebrate every day if you really look for it. So
Sure. So, and it's just making sure that you have that in some kind of plan. So whatever little things you need, you have those ready in hand. And
so what Vivian's saying is we've done a lot of that work for you. She says, our reach calendar and sales planner are on sale right now. All of that's in there. And each one, like I said, this is an older version because ours is being printed, but each one, it's not going to work, has like a calendar. I'll put an image of it when I do the editing, but has a calendar. And so you can be like, do I want to participate in this day? It also tells you for sales, because sales will really start kicking up. The one thing we've know is that group events haven't really came back yet as hardcore as walk-in traffic has. Well, that's going, and then, that will come back. And so be prepared, ramp up your sales team. One of the things looking into January is, hospitality and retail are having a season. And so what can we do for them after the holidays for some give back to those team members, team appreciation events that you can reach out to your local boutiques, your local retail establishments and say, they probably don't get to have a holiday party because that's their busiest season, but we can host a party for them in January when that season's over as a celebration that it's done.
Absolutely. That makes it so much fun. We would have our parties, normally towards the end of the season. So maybe even that first week of January after everything is said and done, kids go back to school. It's a perfect time to really celebrate and try to get some of those smaller retail groups to come in and have some fun with their team.
Yeah. And in December, again, I have to point out what Vivian talked about earlier with college kids. They're going to come home and they'll be bored because if you go to college, there's something to do almost every single night. And so making sure that they're aware of what you have to offer to come and have a good time at your location. If you have any specials, any group specials for them to get together with friends or any of those things, and use some of that language in your post or your promotional materials, like getting together with old friends, like let us help type of thing.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And again, do that research, that's your whole prospecting research. Go through your own local area, look for any of the colleges, the closest colleges in your area. Look on Facebook for those groups on there. There's parents of class of whatever 2025 for your local university. So just go through and do some research on Facebook for some of those groups. And then if you can't join the group, but sometimes you're able to see the posts because some of the posts are public, you're able to at least make comments on there and talk to them about maybe putting some kind of ad or some kind of promotion together for them.
Perfect. Biggest thing we always want you to walk away from these quarterly think tanks is plan. Work on your plan and, plan the work and then work the plan. With that reach calendar and the ultimate sales planner coming out, you could just plan for next month, or you could sit down and sketch out your whole year and be ahead, and then know what you're going to do and just execute that out throughout the year because you've already made the decision of which days are the most important or seem the most fun to you to really do something with.
Yeah, something that you didn't have, thought out beforehand. Sometimes you see that on a calendar, go, well, what's that? Let's look it up and let's see how we can use that. So just literally take that planner, start circling those days on there. And then you have time, like I said, work on either a month at a time, work 3 months at a time, do it whatever chunks make it easier for you. But if you do it at least, 6 to 8 weeks in advance is ideal. It's better to plan the whole year, at least as an overview, and then go back and you start working on each one as an individual event or promotion.
Yes. Well, Vivian, thank you for spending your time and
You're
sharing
welcome.
all of these with everybody. We have that signature Think Tank question. So what are you doing right now to grow yourself?
Well, right now, boy, I have been reading a lot of different things right now. Being an empty nester now, I've got a little bit more time. I had told you I got a Cricket for my birthday in July. I hadn't even taken that thing out, you know. So now that Christmas is coming up, I've decided I'm going to educate myself and start really trying to figure out how to use it to try to make some, fun Christmas projects and, Christmas presents and things like that. So it's given me a lot more time now and flexibility to be able to read things that I haven't had time to read, watch videos of instructional things. For me, it's all about being creative and coming up with really fun projects. So that's what I'm doing now. Empty nester stuff.
Yeah, if I know anything about you, you do not sit still. That's for sure.
No, not at all.
Well, like I said, thank you for your time today. If anyone has any questions for Vivian about anything we talked about today, she will totally answer. Vivian at trainertainment.net is how you get in touch with her, or you can go on our website and there is her picture and all of the ways to contact her there. As mentioned, our sales planner is on pre-order right now. So you pre-order it now and we'll start delivering those the week of IAPA. And come see us at IAPA. We're at booth 4071. Vivian will be there. I will be there. Sonia is going to be there. And Beth is going to be there that week. And so we will chat with you.
Wait, that's going to be a blast.
It's going to be so much fun to be back after not going.
And if you purchase your planner, you can come and pick it up at the booth.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah. So we'll have those. If you want to be a guest on Think Tank, I would love to have you. So you just need to email me, Candy at ThinkTank, Candy at trainertainment.net, and just put on the subject line Think Tank. And then also, just to let you guys know, like last year, we're going to do our Thanksgiving special. We won't have a normal Think Tank on that day, but I want to start gathering the things that you're thankful for this year. So you can just record a quick video, or you can send me an audio clip, or just the words of what you'll be thankful for this year. I will compile all of those, probably with the help of Vivian, into a video that then we will put out on Thanksgiving Thursday as our special Think Tank episode for this year. So send those to me as well. We'll start putting those together. So thank you, everyone. Thank you to our 2021 digital sponsors. And hopefully we'll see you guys at IAPA soon.